Okay. All right. Okay, so you want to run 2 businesses, and you need clarity on how to do that.
Okay, here's my thing. Maybe I will spend just a couple minutes on
Yeah.
it. So,
Excuse me.
since FEMM, I have spent all my time and energy on creating the CBD business.
Yep.
It's been so much, but not like in a murky, swampy way. It's just learning a product-based business and manufacturing and retail and the product, like all that stuff. It's taken a lot of time to get that down. So the financial planning business, I haven't done much of it other than I have done a couple, a few 10-minute calls every week just to stay in contact with referral sources and super high level because I don't even have a good audio logo on what I'm doing. So they kind of know my method of operation, and they know that I work with women and people going through life changes. And so I haven't even really asked them for referrals, but I'm just dripping on them. So other than that, I haven't really focused on the financial planning at all. And long term, like if we were to wave a magic wand, I can say I would be okay with not even having a financial planning business. Like I'm so excited and passionate. I'm getting so much social proof and feedback and seeing immediately how the CBD business is like changing people's lives that I'm good, like over here with CBD. But like Kat, like I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket because I'm like federally, or I mean, anything can happen and then it changes the whole entire landscape. I don't think that's the way it's going. I think it's just going to get more relaxed and more accepting from here. But part of me is scared because what if that doesn't work out? I've spent 19 years building my financial knowledge and know-how and whatnot, and I'm a CFP and I put in all this effort. So I'm like, well, I should be doing that. But magic wand, if everything works out the way that I think it's going to work out, I'd be okay not having it. But like I said, I'm kind of still fearful. And that CBD business is bringing in some money right now, even though we haven't officially launched. But I'd love to be able to put all that money back into the business because, I mean, we're going to scale so quickly. Like I can see us not being able to fulfill our own orders like very quickly and having to have it fulfilled at the manufacturer and have them drop ship and do all of that, which incurs more money, but that's a good problem to have. So I'd like to be able to reserve the money for that. So I need to pay my bills in the meantime. The only other thing that I really know how to do is, okay, well, I better start financial planning. Because I don't even know, I don't know another way to monetize the CBD business without selling a product, like doing a strategy session or a discovery call or like a core, like it's completely,
it's a very different model. But however, well, a couple of things. What do I want to tell you first? One thing I want to know, what do you want to make, 10,000 a month?
That's a good starting point.
Okay. So what I first want to know is business model wise, can you make 10,000 a month in the CBD business?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you can't put all of it back in the business. Okay.
Right.
Like you have to live, and I'm telling, like, so this is what I was going to tell you also is that, so the guy who I ended up, like, who was the client for the movie, he has a, what is it called? Floral essences. It's basically a homeopathic remedy product business. And so he now has, like, the way he does like $700,000 a year, but he's never paid himself. And he basically got a lot of family and stuff. I think he had a lot of money in his family. He was a trust fund guy and stuff like that. And he got like $2 million to start the business, and it's just been, used. And then now he's doing like 700. And he has, salespeople and distributors around the country and stuff going into health food stores and trying to get this $21 essence, whatever thing sold. So I gotta just tell you, that's not a business model I really know. However, you might want to pick Sarah's brain when you see her, because what she makes on a transaction is like 0.7%. 0.7% in doing honeymoon thing. freaking nothing, right? And they
Well,
have a $2 million a year business.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she's selling a lot on
Yeah.
volume.
One of the things though she said, which is really cool, and I don't know if this could be the case with the CBD business, and it may be, because a lot of people like to share, like I was talking about the potato, the viral thing, is that she said one of the reasons they were able to grow so quickly is because when you have someone getting married, guess who's exposed to her product? 150 people who are invited to the wedding. And now they get to see, and then those people, then a lot of people are also getting married at the same time, so then they want it, then they know about it because other people, so all these people are marketing her business, which is amazing. So I will not claim to know how to grow a product, a low-end, low-ticket product-based business, but I will say this, what was really missing with this guy, his name's Stan, for the movie is that he wasn't totally fulfilled because he didn't have total conviction that the product was always going to help people, because it takes a person also to, believe in it and take it enough and whatever, not stop, but whatever it is, I don't know. But like, it was really funny when we're like filming for the movie, I was like, so he kept arguing with me, like, he's like, well, I don't know if it really helps people. And I'm like, dude, if you believe that, and I probably told you guys this, but I'm like, if you don't believe that this helps people, then go quit, like, get a different job, go work at Burger King, like, stop, like, because if you don't believe in it, obviously you believe in it, right? You believe it helps people, that's cool. Anyway, what was missing on his end was that he was going to the big distributions. I don't know if this will help you, but I'm going to tell you, in case it will, is that, trying to sell to the stores and whatnot, that's going to be bigger, much bigger ticket items. But one, he wasn't very fulfilled, and two, he has all this story and all this amazing, like, he had PTSD, he was a soldier, like, he has all these incredible stories and ways to change people's lives that he's not even sharing and telling people. So what I ended up talking to him about is actually gaining the personal branding around it, and that he can be, while he's doing the distributions and all this and growing that on the health food side, which is actually, he's doing pretty decently. It's just like he doesn't necessarily know where to focus. But I said, while you're doing that, build your personal brand around how this thing is helping you and how it transformed your life, and how there's also something mindset-wise that people need to, be responsible for their own, I'd say destiny, but create their, like, what they want also. So it's not just a product. You turn the product into more of a solution, obviously, but that you could potentially build a brand around it and like create a freaking huge list.
So I have done that because the FDA won't allow us on any product page to say, like, use this salve for arthritis or use this oil for fibromyalgia, because now we are diagnosing and prescribing. So we can do feelings, like feelings of stiffness, feelings of anxiety, so we can do that. Okay. So what we did to combat that is separately, me and my mom created a page called the CBD Chicks. And on that page, we don't talk about our product, Crooked Cactus. We don't talk about any specific brands. It's just two chicks getting together to talk about all the wonderful things that the plant can offer you. And we're interviewing people, like, how do you use it, etc., and getting the anecdotes out there. And now it's only been, well, that specific page has only been out like 2 weeks, but people have now started to know me as a CBD person. No.
Okay, you start capturing leads.
But we're over 100 likes in 2 weeks, and I'm getting messages every day. Can you do this? Can you do that? Is it good for this? Where can I buy it? Can I buy yours? And then I also got a media inquiry already, like, hey, CBD chick, like, can you come over? So, and that's me not even doing anything.
Okay, so here's what my gut is telling me, as much as I love service-based industry and all that, is that you got to go with what you love and where you feel like you have the opportunity. And like I said to Kat, if you were listening, I don't know if you're in the room, I said, don't let fear be the reason you don't do something. So if it's the only reason to not do it is because you're fearful, screw that. You don't need to do two things. Like, if you really
then I need the CBD business to make me.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. So that's why I said, can you make $10,000 a month from it? You, meaning you get $10,000 income in your pocket. If you think you can, and you know the model for that, then I can pull out of you whatever you need to in regards to focusing on in order to make that happen. Like how many units, how do you get like that much sold? How many people do you need to get in front of to get whatever amounts, and let's do the money math to figure it out. But let's get you making, like, here's the cool thing. 19 years of financial planning experience ain't going away. It's true. You can pick it up in a year, you can pick it up in 2 years, you can pick it up in 5 years. But if your heart's not in it and you're being torn and you're not focused and you feel like this is the opportunity, Sarah, actually, you talked to her about this. Maybe you can get her investor. She's possibly ready to invest in CBD stuff or whatever she talked about. She was saying, and what just happened? She got very excited. It's very emotional because you're that's where your passion is, right? That's where you want to be. That's cool.
Why am I the only one who cries up here?
And I'm here
for it this time. Look at that.
Together pretty good. I cried.
That's awesome. It's cool.
I don't know, like identity. It's like divorcing that identity, and it's super scary because I've been the planner. I don't know. It's just who I've been for 19 years.
So what I'm saying is you don't have to divorce it.
Okay.
All you got to do is put it on pause.
Okay.
And you might put it on pause for 30 years or forever. But you don't know. You might put it on pause for 6 months and you don't know if this is going to work. But the way you find out if something's going to work is you focus your attention on it. You really focus your attention on it. And this could be, I don't know if you guys know about Bitcoin. I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin, but like my coach is going crazy about Bitcoin and he's making a lot of money from Bitcoin. And it could, and I just invested a lot of money in Bitcoin. And like it could totally freaking, it's very risky. It could tank, but it could also be one Bitcoin, which when I bought it $2,400 like 6 months ago is now almost $6,000. You know what I mean? Like it could also be that he's like, Robin, this is now making almost as much money as my coaching business. I'm just saying you need to start paying attention to it. So it may be one of these things for a CBD business where you are right now. It's very timely. I'm not going to tell you not to do something because, like, why not try it? Just be willing to fail. Who fucking cares? Better to know that you did it and you did it 100% than you did it half-assed and it didn't work, or it did kind of work and then you missed the opportunity. Don't do it. Don't do it if there's not a business model behind it, and don't do it as a delusional Dan without a plan, without knowing how to make the money, and without protecting yourself and making sure you're fine. Protecting yourself to me does not mean that you just have another business like you're trying to kind of half-ass run to kind of try to sometimes make money. If someone has like, if we can't figure out how to make you $10,000 a month of CBD business quickly, then I'm going to say maybe you need to do both. Just kind of like if someone came in here and they had a job and they're making $50,000 a year, like they're not ready to necessarily let go of that $50,000 just so they can go, start their coaching business when they've never made money and never sold a thing in their life. I'm not going to tell them to leave their job. So I'm not going to tell you to leave financial planning if you feel like there's money coming in. But right now, you still have to put so much effort on that in order to make that happen. But it is high ticket. You get one client, you already made over $20,000 from these guys, right? So like that's pretty exciting. And
27,000.
And you made less in CBD, right? 4,000. Yes. Okay, so what I need to know to make sure that I'm congruent helping you go this route is that the money math is there and you can make the money. Not that it's just because you gotta be like, if it's gonna be a business where you have this potential and it's possible for 6 months you won't make money, you gotta be ready for that risk. That's not my decision, that's yours. That risk is that you spend all this time and money and energy into this. The potato guy, by the way, who's like multi-millionaire off these potatoes, he had a different business before that failed and he made nothing. And he went in the hole, So like, if you're gonna be a risk taker, it's risks, you know what I mean? And I'm not telling you to do that. I just want you to, I want you to do what you want to do. Okay?
I would only do the financial planning because it's a matter of, like you said, it's a high ticket. So if I can get 1 or 2 clients a month to pay the bills until the CBD takes off.
So you might have to do that. Okay, that's what I'm saying, because I don't know the model of CBD to know. Can you put all your energy in CBD and go make $10,000 a month? Because if you really don't see that as far as a business model in the next 3 months, then you might have to do both. Just like if you had a job part-time, just think of it as a part-time job. So we can do that, that's fine. But just if you feel like you really can make that money and you can make it fast.
I think I could make it in 3 months, but I don't have 3 months.
Okay, so then you need to do both.
Okay,
cool. But we know the vision. The vision is that that's just your part-time job. Think of it as your part-time job, because then we can just build it how we want it. Like it's simple. It's just like paying the bills, fine, but then grow this, and I'm fine with that. Just know it is a risk, but like, and you make the decision, not me. Okay, I'm just supporting your decision. But what I would look at in regards to building the CBD business is to, like this guy, the way I'm expanding, how can he grow from 700 to 1.5 million, is to now claim his personal brand. Information is what's selling. So here's the thing. You could instead, just open your brain about, open your mind about this, is that you could start doing these CBD chick things. You get a funnel together, you capture leads, you can sell them an ebook, you can sell them some low ticket, you can sell them t-shirts, CBD chicks, whatever. I mean, you can have more products just than the CBD stuff, right? You could also potentially have, I don't know what it is, but maybe you can ask yourself, is there any sort of path that can go to a higher ticket service or higher ticket product? Could you, people want to know maybe about CBD. Maybe there's an information selling that you can sell a course. Maybe there's a way you can get people who have really huge issues, and it's not just that they need CBD oil, but they also need mindset shit, and you can develop coaching around that and help them with their mindset, or get coaches, people who are, let's say, that have gone through coaching programs before, let's say, you have all these people at your, that have gone through, what the hell is your coaching course called, Lisa? What was the coaching course you did? Sir, what was the place?
Choice Center.
What is it?
Choice Center.
Choice Center. She keeps throwing people my way who don't make money, sorry to say. Who have no freaking money. They just did their Choice Center shit, and now they're coaches, and they have no idea how to make money. So you can get trained people who are good coaches. Potentially, all I'm doing is thinking of how can we expand this and give you more of a high ticket, so you potentially can go down one road instead of two roads, right? And so maybe you can get these people, and you pay them, like Tony Robbins probably pays his coaches $35 an hour or something, but they don't have to do anything but show up and coach. And you could be charging $1,000 for a 6-week course, or 6-week program with them, or 8 weeks, or whatever, 3 months, or whatever like that. And it has to do, you train them about their knowledge about CBD and how can you use the mindset stuff around coaching. I'm just making this up, but maybe mindset stuff around what do they do with their life, and then how can they use something to enhance it and help make it better. Now there's something that helps get rid of the pain so they can get more energy to do what they want to do. You add the CBD, you add the coaching, and now they have a better life. Okay. You don't even have to be the coach. Do you know what I mean? You can just be the entrepreneur.
That's not something I thought about before, but that makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the right answer. I'm just coming up with an idea, but this is how you have to start thinking. Instead of thinking in scarcity of, and I want you to make sure you're taken care of. So I'm saying it's smart for you to think, I just need to get one client a month on the financial planning side just to keep me afloat for right now, because you don't need to go in the hole, go bankrupt over this, right? So it's smart. I want you to do that. And it's not a distraction. It's just smart. Even when I had the year when I made $500 in my coaching business, we did Airbnb. We made $50,000 that year in Airbnb because we had to survive.
Yeah.
It fucked up my whole coaching business though. But at the time, I was really happy I wasn't more than $47,000 in debt. You know what I mean? Because it kept us afloat. But just know that the distraction is also taking away, so you got to balance it.
Right.
So I think for you.
So if I'm balancing it and I'm just getting 1 or 2 clients a month, I really want it to be something more transactional, in the sense that, because I know I want my energy over on CBD, I don't want to have to work with it. I have the first client, that $15,000 client, I'm with him for a year. So no matter what I do, he's going to be at least my one client and for the year. But I don't want to do 6 months, a year. Maybe if I did 6 weeks or whatever the number is, but bam,
but just know it's the same problem. You have the same problem then. Because if you want to make 10 grand a month, if you work with someone for 6 months, you've already made it. You got all this effort towards marketing, and you sold one thing, and they said yes, and you make $12,000, whatever you're charging, right? Right. What you're saying is, I want to do more transactional so I can take the time. But if you can leverage your time instead and have it just less, maybe it's 2 calls a month or something, and maybe it's a $6,000 program. Maybe it's still 6 months, but then you only have to sell 2. My concern is if you do it transactionally, you can sell a financial plan, whatever. You can do financial plans for $2,500. $1,500, whatever. But now you have to sell 4 to 8 of them. That's way too much marketing for you. Talk about taking time away.
I see.
You know what I mean? That's the problem. It's like the more transactional you get, the lower the ticket is.
Okay, so then what I could see myself doing on the financial planning side is, and then I had that thing with my ex-employer, like reporting
which
to the state licensing
sucks.
department. So, what I was planning on doing with those clients, I can't actually do without being an RIA. But I can still do.
What can you do?
I can't. So my thought was I would still have conversations about their portfolio, still help them bring everything together, not make specific recommendations, but like, oh, did you notice over at this place, like you own Microsoft in 3 different places, like that's called overlap, right? And educate on that. Apparently, in Nevada, through their state licensing, that is still a registered investment advisor. So I can't get to that level, but what I would like to do is do more of the like financial life planning, and me and Linda were talking about this last night, is that like that's what the industry calls it, like, and I have a designation, registered life planner, but I don't think consumers understand what financial life planning is. So for me to be able to move to the next forward and the next thing and actually get a couple of clients, I need to know, like, what do I call it? Like, what do
You can still call it
what
that.
do I do?
You can still call it that, or you can create your own name. Kim Jim, know your money to grow your money. It meant nothing to anybody, but the fact that it has a name, it has no credibility. Money parenting meant nothing, you know what I mean? But then it's credibility because I came up with a name, right? So, but what is it called? Financial life planning?
Financial life planning. So it's basically
what I don't like,
plan.
what I will say is that what I don't like about it is it sounds like work I have to plan out my life versus what's the result I get from doing the financial life planning. So you may want to come up with your own name of like, what is the result that they get from the financial life planning that's something that could be yours. But it comes back down to the basics of you got to go back to who do you want to target, and then being able to get clear on their problems, the results that you provide when you're doing this type of coaching. Just call it coaching. Not finding, I mean, I don't know. My concern with you with having them get regulators and shit and going after you was if you call things financial planning, they're going to start saying RA. You start doing coaching, they can't do anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So maybe create a coaching program, but think of it as like the way I would structure it, similar to what I did with Kim Jim, right? Which was essentially, I work with them for 6 months. By the end, I was working with them twice a month. But in the first month, I get kind of everything, like get clarity about where their stuff is, what they're doing. So don't make specific recommendations. Like recommend they go to an advisor. That's cool. But getting clarity about where their money is, that's Kim Jim. Kim Jim was basically clarity about their net worth and clarity about their cash flow. And that's huge for people, especially, I mean, if you go after retirees and like they don't have clarity about how much money they're spending on a monthly basis, they don't know how much money they're pulling out. They need that plan. They need to know how to distribute their income in a way also that's tax efficient, They need to be able to like make smart choices. They need to know where to pull money out of that has nothing to do with the investments themselves.
So I want to do my evoke process.
Okay.
And then what I do is at the end of that process, we have a life plan. And they have what's called a torch statement. It's kind of like their vision statement. And then what I'll do in the financial planning is we're going through and inventorying where's their money, where are they spending. We're just constantly reminding ourselves, okay, is this in support of your torch? Is this in support of your torch? And so, all right, so who would I like to work with? I got really hung up on that women who's going through life changes and, they didn't manage their money and now they have to manage their money. And that just got so confusing. My mind was like, no.
Yeah.
So probably, and I don't want it to be so niched down that I have to do like a lot of expert brand marketing, like to be known for that one thing.
All you gotta do, here's what I would suggest, okay? Because you gotta be niche enough so people know who the hell to refer to you.
Niche enough, but like.
It's fine, so be a little bit more broad. But what I would just have you do, I'm gonna give you the steps because I know we're gotta get to the next one, but is first of all, the mindset shift that we just had is that you're growing your CBD business because that's what you want. You're having a job for your financial planning right now that's better than your old job. To have still flexibility to grow it. In 6 months, it may flop. We don't know. But the fact that you can, and then it's not so scary to let go of that anyway, right? So that's cool. But now you can, but remember your main focus is CBD. You don't have to feel bad about it. You just grow it, but build the brand around it too. Make sure you're capturing leads. Start thinking about the model as far as, and I can help you, have a little separate time, but start thinking about the model. I'm just like summing up, recapping here. As far as what else can you add to this so it's not just one little product. Okay, I mean, if the product's taking off and like it's like taking all your time, that's all you need, that's fine. By the way, there's a lot of, my dad is like factoring, which means if you have orders, but you can't go buy, like you don't have, you need the money to go buy the goods, right? You can actually get a company to finance that in between, so you can go buy the goods and deliver it, because then you're going to make, and that's what factoring is.
I've already had to do that.
Okay, cool.
Well, at first I pre-sold product, and then I got our first batch that sold out, and then I got my next orders came in so quick and big that then I had to go back and say, oh, never mind, I need this much and so this much, and so that part they did that too. Well, show us your purchase orders.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. If you need someone to ask my dad. Okay. Always ask me, why don't you ever refer me? I'm like, no one ever needs what you have. That's really rare. My service-based clients are doing that. But anyway, but start thinking outside the box for that business. Think of how can we, let's think of who's that ideal client, just like you would for your service-based business. Who is wanting this? They have these problems in it. So how can I add other things and cross-market, or how can I add things like more of a service that maybe I don't even have to provide, but I can just organize to make sure they get a better result. So don't be transactional, be transformational, even if your time isn't doing the actual delivery. Okay, I just want to make sure you got that. And then for the financial planning stuff, financial planning stuff is that you got to go back to ideal client, you got to go back to the problems, whatever, and you got to go back to like the calls. And I would say go, just like Susanna, like go have an exclusive event. If there are 4 people show up, 2 people show up, 5 people, doesn't matter. Like
So
exclusive.
on the financial planning side, like I said, I kind of got confused and hesitant with the women. So now I'm thinking, like, and I don't know how to articulate this, but the word that is thrown around in media is like the sandwich generation, because it's kind of the older Gen X, but the younger baby boomers, probably like what Cindy was thinking about, that are taking care of aging parents and the young kids. And so the women or the couple, have all these competing priorities. Like,
And those are the problems. When you hit them, you'll be able to identify them. Yeah. So
that's
if
what
you
I'm
like
thinking
that, then go for it. That's perfect.
Do I call them? I typically work with the sandwich generation.
I don't know what that means. What'd you say?
Stacey or Lisa's like, no. Like,
Yeah,
God,
I don't know what
do
that. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't think. Does anyone know?
Yes.
You do?
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's us.
I'm in it.
Okay, cool. So the people who
Okay,
need to know, just
We have
describe
Asian
it.
Parents and young kids.
It's like I didn't know what the hell adulting, like people were using adulting because I'm not in that. So, but then the people like identify that in that age group. So use it, but then also tell the people who you're talking to that don't know what it is, qualify it. So you would say like, typically I work with, do you want to work with women or men, or you don't care?
It's either going to be a woman or a couple. I don't know that.
Okay, so
a
for right
man
now,
is going to come in on his own.
So for right now, just say women. It'll be easier to get them, okay? And then you still will get people who say, oh, can you help me because I'm a man? Like it still happen. Or if you're talking to a guy who seems interested, yeah. I mean, typically I work with women, but it's usually, women and her husband or whatever. You can like start casually adding that, But if you said typically I work with women in the sandwich generation who have the challenge, you know what I mean? Like even if you qualified it by saying who have the challenge of having, old elderly parents they have to financially support and having, adult children who are still often living at home, now I automatically know who the sandwich generation is, right? I mean, so you just told me. So it's okay as long as you qualify it. You can also say in the typically I work with, which, means, but I don't think you need to, because I think if you're specific about the problem of they're trying to take care of their elderly parents and also taking care of their freaking adult children, we know what generation they're sandwiched in between. You just told me the sandwich.
Yeah.
right? So, and then you can go deeper into the problem there, and then the result that you provide them.
Okay.
So create a Dare to Suck audio logo, and then my suggestion would be to set a certain number of hours per week that you are like you just have to pretend like you're going to your job. Yeah, I got 10 hours. I have a 10-hour week job to support my business habit, and that's what it is right now until it exceeds your income on that side. It's a business habit. Trevor always talks about, he tells this hilarious story. He says, I had to get a job to support my business habit because he said he was running this parasailing business, but he was actually like, then he would finish at 5 or 6 o'clock and he'd go and shower on the beach and go to be a waiter, and go wait tables, because then he could make $100 a night, and then he could like pay for his business to make sure it stayed afloat. And then he realized in his business, he can actually, if he could just make $100 extra a day, he wouldn't have to do that. And then he exceeded his income there and quit that job. So that's the ultimate goal if you really want to do CBD. But like 10, you got to have focused 10 hours. When I was working, I'll tell you one last story. I was working with, her name's Nora. She's the one, someone you guys heard about. I worked with her for just a few months, like once a month. And it was private, and it was just those few times. This would be way before FEMM. And she had 3 different jobs. One was at a rehabilitation center that she hated, and then one was like writing for the daily, what's it called, the Daily News, I don't know, something. But one was like little job, right? And she hated her main job, which was 30 hours a week, which was the rehabilitation center. I mean, hated it. And she said, "Can you help me?" And I said, she wanted to do like personal training and this and that. And I said, "If you're coachable and whatever, yes, I can help you." And she's like, "I have to leave this job." I was like, "Okay, so we have to replace like $3,000 a month or something like that." So I said, "Well, I think I can, but it really depends on you. How much time can you realistically put per week towards this business?" And she literally like looked, and she was like, "Hey, on Tuesday from, like 8 to 9 before I go to work," crazy shit, like finding an hour here, finding 2 hours here, finding whatever there. And then on the weekend, it was like 4 hours, and she was committed to leaving this freaking job. So she found 9 hours a week. And I was like, if you really devote 9 hours a week, I can help you do this. 9 hours a week. And within, I think, 6 weeks, she left that job. She found a better one that was like kind of more of a business. It was like a job, but she had like commission structure and ownership of the business. And she was like, ended up going to Thailand like within like 3 or 4 months. Like she was all excited. Like it was like her whole life changed. And we barely even worked together for very long. But so 10 hours a week, if you're focused, then you can do that. And you can get 1 or 2 clients a month at 5 to 10 grand, Just make sure your deliverables, like you're not doing too many hours on the deliverables, because then your 10 hours are done, right? But you can do 2 hours a week with a client. Like you start in the first month a little more intense. But I was gonna say with my money coaching is I did like a 3 to 4 hour like first session to understand their plan, understand their money, understand whatever your process is, and then follow-ups twice a month for 6 months. They got transformation. And I would get on the phone with them for an hour and 15 minutes twice a month. That's it. Okay. You can have 2 clients like that and still be able to run your business, your CBD business. You know what I mean? Okay. And then start getting referrals, and that'll start helping. So basics, you need your audio logo.
I'll work on that.
And then I would suggest the best leveraged way is to just run some exclusive events and invite these people and find out where are these people. Like you already have some people that know you and like you. Can you do an event at their house, just a little get together with these sandwich people? The sandwiches.
Okay. For a sandwich. Okay. And then on one.
And if you forget what we talked about, just refer to this. Says your name.
So on this, maybe when we have a couple of mini hot seats like you did with people, money math for the CBD business.
Okay.
Because and you may not know either, but 2 brains are better than 1, like to figure out final pricing. I have like this big range.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. So then why don't you do this? Take this. Take a pen.
It's a blank slate.
Okay, this will be your Dare to Suck. What is it now? So I can look at it, and then we'll take another one. And when I come around, it might not be today, but probably tomorrow. Then we'll help you create it. But let me see where you start, so I can visually see it. My money map. Yeah. Okay. The current money map. I need to know like how much is it? What's your cost of goods, and then what is your margin, and what are you selling it for? Yep. All that stuff, and what the products are, and then how are you driving them to the products? Okay. So write that out. And then we'll just make another sheet. Okay, give her a hand. Give her a hand. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, let's take a quick potty break, and then you're up. If you forget, just focus on that.
It's crystal clear.
The world is an oyster. You have a blank slate. You can do anything you want. This
Exactly.
represents so many things. This is the new artwork I'm gonna put in my living room wall. Okay.
A Facebook Live talking about all the great work that you do with them
Look,
here.
sometimes you just don't have to write anything. Okay, so it's 5:37, so we're good. So I think I'm feeling fine that we just do one more. So let's just take like 5-minute break or so, bathroom and such, and then we'll do Corinne's, and then you guys can get out of here.
Are we doing like a closing? Getting back
Do you need
together?
to go?
No, I just was curious.
I mean, I don't have anything planned, but I always say something inspirational.
You don't want to miss it.
I'm gonna go work on my book and I'll be back.
No, I mean, you don't have to, but it's not gonna be anything riveting tonight. But if you want to come back to kind of say goodbye to peeps again.
Okay.
But you don't have to. You're back at the other hotel?
Yeah.
What are people doing for dinner?
I don't know.
I think it's probably silly. Don't bother.
I
I don't think it's gonna be anything unless you want to get back together with everybody to go to dinner and stuff.
No,
So
I'm
then
gonna
just
go
work. So you so far, Jen, have had an hour and 38 minutes. Did you get a lot done?
I didn't get a lot done, but I got some stuff done.
Cool.
I have my list of all the things that I need to do.
Okay, cool. So then in the next 45 minutes, can you get one of those things done? Is there like something there you can cross off the list?
Yeah.
Okay, get one of those things done, and then we can keep chipping away at it over the next 2 days, okay?